Alright, hey guys, remember TCG back with a new video. So with this video, I'm going to be talking about Scareclaws, and Scareclaws is a new archetype introduced in Dimension Force. And yeah, I just kind of want to go over this archetype with you guys. So basically, with this archetype, you're just kind of powering up the Link monster. You're going to be powering up the Link 3. And with the other monsters, you're going to be giving him certain buffs. And that's basically like the idea of the deck. And yeah, let's just get started here. So here I run two alphas because this is like mainly beast deck. So I think it's pretty great just to have alpha here in case you're going second. Just have something to bounce or force negate. And either way, it's a 3k beater. I think it's just pretty great and works really well with the deck. Here I run two Visas Starfrost. So Visas Starfrost is pretty great because he's a level 6 tuner. That is relatively easy to summon out. You just have to destroy one of your monsters with a different type and attribute. And then from there, it gets to summon itself out. So because the main monsters in this deck are level 3 and level 4, then the main synchros you're going to want is a level 9 and a level 10, which we're going to go through later on. Here we have Scareclaw Rykart. So Scareclaw Rykart is pretty great. It's the only level 4 Scareclaw, and it's nice because if you so basically with all the Scareclaws, they can just summon themselves out once per turn. Basically, if you have a Scareclaw monster, it can either go to the adjacent zone or in the column of that or the same column as that monster. So if it's a Scareclaw in the extra monster zone, then you can still summon it out, and that applies to all the Scareclaws. So I run 3 of the Rykart because it touches all your spells and traps, and if you control 3 or more, if there's just 3 or more defense position monsters in the field, you get to draw a card, which is relevant because the Link monster does turn the monsters in the field to defense, so this is relatively easy to get a free draw, and at the very least, just a way to search out a spell or trap. Here we have 3 Rescue Cats. Rescue Cats is pretty great, especially in this deck, just because it gets to special summon 2 level 3 or lower beast monsters from the deck. And most of these are, well, I guess all of them are beasts except for Scareclaw Rykart, but he's a level 4, so that's not your target. You basically just summon these 2 out, and it's just a free summon, and you get to save their, special summon effect, since it's only reserved for 1 turn. So yeah, it's a pretty great card. I like having it at 3 copies. Personally, it's worked for me. Here we have Scareclaw Croa. So Scareclaw Crow basically just gives your Scareclaw monsters 300 attack for each defense position monster you control. Pretty great. It's just a slight attack boost. I just like having 3 copies of each of the Scareclaws right now just for the name and because they can special summon themselves out. So it's pretty easy to do so. Here we have Scareclaw Veronia. So Scareclaw Veronia is nice just because it gives your Scareclaw monster piercing. And here we have Scareclaw Astra, which this guy's pretty nice because while you control a defense position Scareclaw monster, your Scareclaw monsters in the extra monster zone can attack a number of times each battle phase up to a number of defense position Scareclaw monsters with different names. Basically, you're just going to be wanting to give like your monster 300 attack for each defense, so it's going to get pretty beefy. And then you're going to want to give it piercing, and then you're going to want to make it so that he can attack multiple times, which makes it pretty easy to finish your opponent. Here are 3 Ash Blossoms, pretty standard. There's a relatively decent amount of cards just to deal with your opponent's cards. So like Ash Blossom as a hand trap, 3 of the Infinite Imperm, and then 2 Alphas per when you're going second, and 2 Lightning Storms, and the Harpy Feather Duster. I think this works out pretty well. Terraforming to search out the to search out the field spell. 3 Scareclaw Nova. So Scareclaw Nova is basically a monster reborn for Scareclaws. It's not once per turn. The only part of the effect that's once per turn is the second part, where it protects your Scareclaw monsters by destruction from battle or card effect, which is really good. So if they try to like Lightning Storm one of your or all your Scareclaws, it protects all of them with just this 1 card. So I like having 3 copies of this, just the free Monster Reborn, and then Monster Reborn just because it's nice to just I've had instances where I was able to just get Visas Starfrost and then like use my Monster Reborn to bring back the Rescue Cat after I use its effect to bring these 2 out, and then just go for a free Cinco into Bear on the floor. Here, 1 Called by the Grave. Hand traps are still pretty annoying to deal with this deck, just because this deck does require a lot of summons to go through, and some searches are pretty important. So having 1 Called by the Grave is really nice here. Here of Liphobia, the Wanton and Willful World of Desire. So this card is pretty great because it searches out either a Scareclaw monster or a Visas Starfrost. That's why you want to search it out with Terraforming. And if you 3 or more defense position monsters are on the field, you can target one card your opponent controls to destroy it. So it's basically a free destruction, and it also debuffs your opponent for a slight bit. But yeah, pretty great. Just being able to search out a Scareclaw monster is pretty big, just because you want to be able to get a decent amount of Scareclaws in your hand so that you're able to actually get the Link 3. And then here we have 3 imperms. So 3 imperms, I kind of discussed it. And here I run 3 of the Scareclaw Splash. So Splash is pretty nice because it basically makes your one Scareclaw monster into a super heavy samurai, which I think is nice. But it also serves as an Omni Negate. But the timing is a bit odd with this because it says when your opponent activates a card or effect while you control a Scareclaw monster in the extra monster zone, you can send this face-up card from your spell and trap zone to the grave. Negate that effect. So you pretty much have to have it face up beforehand, but it is able to negate cards. You're just gonna have to be more careful with this because it's not an if, it's a when. So just be careful with the timing of that. But I'm sure it'll be fine with most cases. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the main deck. Let's get right to the extra deck. So here we have Baron the Floor. Baron the Floor is gonna be your level 10 synchro target. You guys can like search out for another like level 10 synchro if you choose to do so, but I think Baron the Floor is obviously like probably the best level 10 synchro you can get. And then here we have Stellar Wind Wolf Riot. So Stellar Wind Wolf Riot is the level 9 synchro that I chose to go into, just because I mean, even most cases you're not even gonna like really use all the other monsters, but just because the Link 3 is like your main thing to go into. But in case you need to, I think Wolf Riot's pretty decent just to get out. And it's pretty much a ticking time bomb that you can kind of get it beefed up relatively high on your own, and then your opponent can eventually fill it up so that you're able to shuffle those monsters away. So I think I chose this as my level 9, but of course another good one here in the side deck is Shen. And here Zeus. So I have the Zeus Downard, and then Cicada and the Gossip Shadow. So Gossip Shadow just basically it serves as like a way to change your opponent's monster effect if you choose to do so. And this guy is basically like an imperm. So yeah, depending on, you know, sometimes you're gonna be able to just have 2 level 3s left over, and yeah, you can choose to go for one of these. And if you're able to attack, and it's just these are just like for scenarios where you just don't have the Link 3 out, because the Link 3 does lock you into Scareclaws once you use its effect. So if you're just in a situation where you're not able to get the Link 3 out, or you don't use the Link 3's effect, then you can attack with one of these and then go into the Sky Thunder. So yeah. And here I have Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. So this card's pretty great because you can relatively get 3 monsters out on the field pretty easy, since that's what's pretty much required for the Scareclaw Tricart. Being able to use one of your opponent's monsters is pretty great. So yeah, it's a Link 5, and if you're able to get it, just hopefully you can get 4 monsters in the field, but you can easily get 3. So it shouldn't be too difficult to go into the 4 if you get the opportunity to do so. And it's just a very powerful and impressive card. If the opportunity appears to get this card out, it's pretty big. And here we have Access Code Talker, just in case you need it, something to link climb into. And yeah, you guys know what Access Code Talker does. So here we have 3 Scareclaw Tricart. So Tricart, it's pretty great because all face-up monsters on the field are changed to defense position, and it's unaffected by activated effects from any defense position monster. So it basically becomes an Ultimate Falcon from defense position monsters. So obviously this isn't too relevant when you're going against like a Link monster, and it's not like negating their effects. It's just giving him unaffected. He becomes unaffected by the effects. And then this is the effect I was discussing, where once per turn, if this card is in the extra monster zone, you can target one level 3 Scareclaw monster in your grave, and then you get locked into Scareclaws, and you get to summon it, and then add 1 Scareclaw monster from your deck to your hand. So this basically makes it easier to bring back your Scareclaws and fill up your back row, just to give this Scareclaw all those buffs again that I was discussing before. Yeah. Unicorn, shuffle. IP Masquerena goes with it. And here, you run a lot of Earth monsters. So if you're able to, if your opponent's running Earth, then you can go into that, take it. And then here, Amarach, because sometimes you only have, you're forced to normal summon your monster, and you have a bunch of these Monster Reborn cards. You can get it out, and it makes it easier to go into your Link 3. But yeah, and that's pretty much it for the extra deck. Here we're gonna go into the side deck. So the side deck, we have the psychic. You can go into the whole psychic build if you choose to do so. These are just like rank 3 options, Tsukinoko, in case you want to do so. It's pretty decent. You can choose to cut some of the copies of these for consistency. Shen Shen, again, a level 9 synchro, pretty great option too. It's up to you, whichever one you prefer. And then Baguska, worst case scenario, if you want to have Baguska in here as a rank 4, just to be able to stall a bit, that's an option. Breaker's another rank 3, that's pretty solid. Fortune Tune is decent. It's mainly just to stall out a bit. Crusadia Avramax is again just another boss monster. Appaloosa for the negates. And then the pre-rise map, if you want to just have a way to search out more monsters with 0 attack, because you have a lot of targets, as you can see. Veronia and Croa are 0, and Astra are 0. So you do have to lose half your life points, but you know, that's up to you if you choose to do so, to add these cards. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the deck. I think the deck is pretty fun to play with. It is. I think it needs a bit more to be able to really get going. I know they're getting a Link 1 in Power of the Elements, which I think is going to help this deck out by a lot, just because it's gonna be a lot easier to get the Link 1 searches out Lithophobia, the Wonton, and with this you're gonna be able to search out another monster. So I think that's gonna be pretty big for this deck, just having the Link 1. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the deck. Do you guys want to see test hands? Do you want to see me like duel with it? Make sure to let me know in the comments down below. And if you like the video, well then like the video. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.